Welcome to the video tutorial on how to create a flowchart diagram with LucidChart. And this video uses the example found on page 105 of the book if ever you want to follow along. So your first step is going to be to create a new document by clicking the New Document button and selecting the blank diagram. From there you're going to go into Shapes on the top left, deselect Geometric Shapes, and select the BPMN2 shapes and click Save. So the shapes on the left-hand side are what you can use to build your diagram. So what we've selected are really what is necessary to be able to do the flowchart. I already have a document that I've been working on, so I'm going to go ahead and close the first one. To start building your diagram, you're going to select the container and swim lane underneath the BPMN2 shapes. From there, you can rename your container into anything that you feel is appropriate. For myself, it's going to be Airplane Ticket Purchase Process. And then you can rename your lanes into the appropriate actors. I have Traveler and Airline for the diagram that I'm using. To be able to have a little bit more room, I'm going to increase the size of my swim lanes, but first I'm going to increase the font. So as you can see, I'm going from 0.8 to 0.24, but it didn't increase the size yet. But if you double click on the right, it then adjusts itself so that it can fit your text. And then from there, I can adjust my swim lanes appropriately to have a little bit more room to play in. So we're going to start off our flowchart diagram by putting a start event. Start event can be found under the BPMN2 symbols. By putting it down, I can then right away rename it to start. And I'm going to put the first action. The first action that you can find is plan trip. So I write that in. From there, I'm going to add in my second event, which is check flight. So that brings us to our first decision. I prefer the decision found under the flowchart shapes. So first is to check seat availability. I'm going to reshape that, as you can see, by dragging at the bottom right. I'm going to add the next event afterwards. Next event would be to submit ticket order. So as you can see, by dragging from the red circles between one shape and another, we create the links between the shapes. By default, the first link that you create from a decision shape to another one is going to have yes as the decision name, and the second one is going to be no. But if you want, you can always rename them by clicking on them and then changing the names. If you're selected off, you can just double click on them and then rename them in that scenario. A useful feature is going to be to select multiple shapes at the same time. I'm going to do this by clicking on the first one. Well, actually, I'm going to drag the first one. I'm going to hold Shift and select the third one. From there, just for myself, I'm going to change the color of the shape. And I'm going to do the same thing to the decision. It just makes it a little more aesthetically appealing, which I prefer. I've already created all of the actions on all the decisions off on the side. So I'm going to move that over. You're going to see a cut in a second where I'm going to just cut out the part where I've reshaped the container. Another thing that you can do if need be is to resize the decision names. You can do that by the same method that you've resized the shapes. You click on the first one, hold Shift, and then click on all the subsequent decision names. So I'm going to select all of them right now, and I'm going to resize them to 0.12. So with a little bit of resizing, that's going to be the end of my flowchart diagram. As you can see in the left-hand side, there's my ending symbol. Don't forget that. You need both a start and an ending symbol. So with that done, we're going to want to export that into a format where you can put it in your Word document. You're going to do that by going under File, and then you're going to go on Download As. From there, I recommend a PNG, and select your whole document because you want to have the diagram even if it's on several pages. From there, I put it in print quality, and then it's going to download right there. First, it's going to generate the file, and then it's going to save in your main directory. And here you're going to see the result of all of our hard work. It looks really well done for a free program. The last thing that I want to bring to you guys' attention is this little gear symbol on the top right. From there you can add and subtract swim lanes. Since the diagram that you guys are doing might not only have two actors, they might actually have more. You can also adjust the orientation and the text orientation from vertical to horizontal. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and I'm going to put them back. That's going to bring us to the end of the tutorial. I hope that it was useful, and best of luck on your assignments.